We are back with the NACT. This is NACT 2025. You know, it's happening in a week. And today we have your favorite bunch joining with us to talk about it. Caster Trex, Stephweezy, as well as the one and only private dancer, and a new face joining us, Kronos. You've been everywhere, Kronos. So introduce to the NA fans.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Liz, and thank you so much, guys, for everything. It's a great opportunity to be a part of the NACT 2025 spring season, of course. My name is Kronos. I'm a caster for MPL Latam. I just did the MLBB Super Cup Invitational as well, and now happy to be a part of the NACT, and looking forward to more as well.
Yeah, so Kronos is representing the MLBB International. He's everywhere, and now he's joining NA. We're so happy to have you joining us. Now, the NACT, you guys have been waiting for it for a long time. We also have, and now without further ado, we are jumping straight into the season. And the most important thing for the NACT this season is it's going to select our team, the NA representative, to go into EWC, where they're going to be facing a 70 million prize pool for the entire Esports World Cup and a $3 million prize pool for MLBB. That's a lot, guys, right?
Yeah, definitely a lot of money on the line, a lot of glory on the line. We just fell short last MSC, you know, so it's like, I think, you know, there's a lot on the plate of NA right now.
Yeah, it's definitely comeback time. I mean, you know, Trex, we got to go out there to MSC last year, and it was definitely a pleasure to be able to see all the teams compete out there and to see another shot in North America here with NACT. I can't wait to see which team steps up to the mantle.
Yeah, and a lot of these teams are making all these little and minor adjustments to tweak and hopefully bring in something a little fresher to the scene in hopes of trying to get that tickets to go out there.
Yeah, because I think especially given the fact that NACT has only one slot this time in the EWC, so that's going to be even more interesting to see which team grabs it.
Yeah, I mean, we always had one slot for the international tournaments for the NA region, but definitely is going to be exciting to see who will represent North America. We know we are the region of surprises. Last season, there were a bunch of surprises that happened, and for the MSC from last year, we saw an underdog team take that $1 million champion prize pool. So that's very exciting. And this year, it can go to anyone. So for NACT, the prize pool will be heading to EWC MSC 2025, representing North America with pride and joy.
Yeah, I think it's all. I mean, it's an awesome thing. It's a ticket. It's a ticket to Saudi Arabia once again. It's a ticket halfway across the world. It's $3 million on the plate if you win MSC. And like I said, you know, I mean, the money is always a plus, but in the end, what they're going to remember is who won, who lost, who took home the trophy. The money will be forgotten, but we always remember the winners' names.
You know, one of the more interesting things I saw on MSC last year was even with the prize pool for that, like even the lower echelon teams, man, they come home with a decent cash prize, and then a trip all the way out there to Riyadh again. We got the stage out there, man. I don't know about y'all, but if you see a stage over $1 million put into it, it's pretty impressive. And so these teams, they definitely have a lot on the line and a very short format to do so. So we got to see who's been practicing.
Yeah, and that's the big thing too, is it is a spectacle. Behold, I know Riyadh and them, they have all been trying their best to make this the esports center. And from what we saw last year, with the money that was put into it, the care, the teams, I don't think there's anybody who had a negative thing to say about it. So it's just a huge honor and a lot of pressure on these teams here looking to qualify for that ticket there.
Yeah, and I mean, even while they're qualifying, if you take a step back and think about what NA accomplished in that stage, come in between 9th to 12th position, as Weezy said, getting a chunk of that prize pool as well. $56,000 is what they got for themselves. Cloud9 were the representatives last time, so they're not here this time with the teams that are registered. So, but the players are still there. It could be quite interesting.
Yeah, and speaking about the players, let's take a look at the bracket. Who are our teams that are representing each of the different ones? So the ones that made it: Overskill versus Villanera, Milinario
Mario.
versus
Milionario.
Yeah, just one more time,
Milionario.
one more try.
Milinario versus Area 77, Bloodthirsty Kings versus the Valley, Vendetta versus Team Eagle. A lot of big names out there.
Yeah, I think it's Monsters. Private, I know you focused a lot on some of the qualifiers and stuff. I kind of, I've been brushing up. I've been watching a little bit, but I think you were really like hands-on with a lot of it. Any thoughts on like some of these matchups?
Oh man, I mean, we talked about it when we first saw the brackets. Is that bottom bracket? We were told this is all was random from the top bracket to the bottom brackets. Some of these matchups right in the first round are going to go ahead and get the ball rolling. The big things for me. From the top brackets, we see some familiar faces, but we also see something that kind of slipped through the cracks, so to speak. A Milionario. A team that beat some names, Asian Disappointment. They beat the Valley. They beat Team Ego to get their spot at the top brackets. And that is something that a lot of people are looking at here now.
Yeah, this is actually a team that I was doing some research today. I was able to get into like a group chat with them and talk to them a bit. And they seem like 3 of them have been playing together for the past 2 seasons. Now it's all 5 of them. They feel confident. I asked them if they, like, what's their goal in this? Are we just happy to be here? They want to go up against BTK. They want to get to that top grand final slot. And it's been a while since we've seen a team of new faces. Like, I don't think we've seen a team of new faces do this well since like Team First Blood ages. Like, we're talking like 3 years ago, seeing a new team just come out of nowhere and take down big dogs, take down OGs of NA. So I'm on the hype train with it. It's super exciting, and hopefully they're able to live up to their word.
And it's interesting too because it's a different format. We've been changing formats every single NACT, and this time not even having a lower bracket to fall back to if you do fall out makes the stakes even higher on the board. And when you talk about a team like Milionario stepping into the scene and they have that capability to surprise the world and take down some heavy hitters. I mean, they've already taken down 2 of these teams in here just in the qualifiers. So that's definitely a scary sight for those OG teams that are sitting there. But then you focus on the bottom bracket, right? There's just so much going on down there as well. BTK in the Valley. I mean, that's like fireworks going off. I mean, we have never seen these 2 go off this early, and it's elimination. It's an elimination match.
That's exactly correct. Elimination, meaning that one of these teams 4 of these teams won't be coming back from the first round. But the bottom bracket, so full of those names that we've all come to love and appreciate. And I want to say too, I mean, I've been big for the dark horses. I've been kind of like riding that Team Ego horse for a bit since he came onto the scene, looking to see him improve. And it's super unfortunate because Vendetta, a lot of people, because of, I want to say, the obscurity of Milionario, Vendetta is like the established team. This is the team that a lot of people this season were kind of looking at possibly being that front runner to BTK and meeting them in the finals. But here, they're going to be meeting in the bottom bracket if they're successful enough in round 2, no less.
Wow, looking at that bottom bracket you guys have been talking about, I've just been staring at it the entire time. Yes, Milionario looked like the dark horse, the talk of the town at the moment, and yeah, I don't want to be in that bottom bracket if you ask me. Like, definitely a lot of blood out there. They want to get that slot towards the MSC. So even though they're the talk of the town, it's smooth sailing if they go through the top bracket.
Yeah, I think before I let Liz in, one last thing, like, I think if there's like if I had to like look at NACT as a whole right now, it is, the new kids on the block up on the top side, except for Area 77, up against everything we have grown to know and love in NA. All the teams, all the players, the basics, the Nats, the Sharks, the Hoons. You got Dez's team in the bottom brackets. Everyone that is like, it's the fame of NA sitting in that bottom bracket. And it's the new hungry players up top looking to overthrow the old regime, right? Looking to take over and show that, like, we're here now. We can make a statement. We can be the team that you love.
If there's one chance for the new blood to come in for the NA region, it's going to be this season with all the new teams in the upper half of the brackets. Now, you guys mentioned the Valley will be facing up against BTK in the first round. Now, both of these teams, we've heard, have scheduled a boot camp to prepare their matches against one another. But since they're going to be facing each other right off the bat, that means one of these boot camps is going to be wasted. Like, what is going to happen with these two teams?
Okay, let me say one thing. Since they're both boot camping again, even though it's different team names, there better be cameras, webcams on, because I love the reactions, man. The last NACT, yeah, that was pure cinema. Everybody was just going crazy when Mobazane and the boys pulled out that victory in the game 7, able to take it the distance after having such a hard loss in the beginning of that series. And it's going to be a lot of a shorter of a series, though. It's a best of 3, so that's a little bit harder to extend that and have that comeback. So hopefully we do get those cameras and those reactions that everybody looks for, because that's that NA drama that we love to see. And I think we need to see a little bit of that spice, especially to kick things off for the NACT.
Yeah, it's round 1. It's man, it's just so crazy to have a team, especially since last season, to have that huge matches, the series between what was then Cloud9 and BTK. Here, now renamed the Valley, they're going to be coming in the seats kind of as the underdog. 1, because they lost to BTK last season. 2, because they actually had to climb up from the bottom, from the lower bracket, because they suffered a defeat by Millonario. So that puts a lot on them. Both of these teams working with new junglers. We're waiting to see how well that they can kind of I guess coexist with some of these changes that they've made.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, let's take a look at. Sorry, Kronos. I'll let you finish that thought right as we take a look at the rosters. As guys mentioned, Millonario actually took some games from the Valley. Now, looking at the rosters, guys, it seems like someone are in the same team. Best Player Mobazane both are in Bloodthirsty Kings, and there's a new jungler for the Valley.
Yeah, I think while looking at the rosters as well, there's been a switch up, like you mentioned, and not just that, with the heroes getting revamped and changed in the meta, it's been already past a week or 2. So they're definitely going to be practicing. I've been watching their streams, at least, as to how they've been going around looking and adapting towards the new meta. So these boot camps definitely should help out, but let's not forget, we get, like you mentioned, you got best player as well as Mobazane in the same team in the jungle. A different flavor coming through for the NACT. Never seen this before.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's all the Wonder Twins have united. You know, I mean, it's Bloodthirsty Kings. It's. I don't think I ever would have put on my bingo card for 2025 that I'd see Zayn and best player on the same team, but here we are. And the question I think on all of our minds is like, what's going on with Zayn? Is he gonna play? You know, like is this bench? You know, I think it is a good thing. We know that no matter what, normally right before MSC, there is a huge patch drop. It happened last year. Everything switched to Assassins last minute. So having these 2 players on the team that both kind of specialize in different types of jungling, you have some options there depending on what happens. So as long as Mobazane isn't just sitting on a bench getting rusty, it's definitely possible we could see him jump back into that main position. It's definitely possible that best player backs off and lets him shine, or whatever may be happening. But there's a lot of big players to look at. You know, we got Yato back in the scene. We got Joybaj once again. You know, it's sad that we only get this single bracket, you know, not double elimination, because we're not going to get to see some of those just fun matches to watch between these rivals. But still, it's exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see familiar faces, right? I mean, every single NACT, you see a player you recognize, but they're just on a different team. That's the thing, is they always swap around, but they're still in that top 8. But we have always seen a difference in top 4 to top 8, a big gap in level of skill. And I don't think we'll be able to see that with just as short as the format is. Like we said, this is a lot more of a cold cut tournament where it's make it or break it. You don't get a second chance. And you see how stacked the lower half is going to be. So yeah, like we said, a lot of those familiar faces. I mean, even members on Overskilled, right? You get to see players down there that we've seen. Churobami, he's been in the NACT for a couple of them. and he's back in the scene again for Overskilled. You see ISO, the Joy Bosch combination coming back with Yureshi. I mean, that's going to be a fun one to see as well. I mean, there's so much talent here. Honestly, when I was looking at just the qualifiers and I was sitting here looking at different teams, I was like, man, honestly, I really think this is one of the most stacked overall rosters that we've had with such a high talent pool.
You mean like
Yeah,
total out of like everybody playing? Like
Yes,
all
as a collective.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're starting to open the doorway for a lot more skilled players coming through here. Some of them that we watched from last season, Des coming in. Des and Kush, we were talking about junglers earlier, kind of changed teams. Des has been kind of on the same team, flexed a few members. Kush has always been a great player, somewhat mingled in the top of North America, and he has a just a very comfortable team he's going to be playing with, because he's played with all of these guys for a while now. And the big question kind of comes into play, as we brought up before. We've got kind of the old regime going to be taking on some of the new blood here, and which one do we really think has the advantage? Because we have so many people that have watched some of these teams play. They've seen T, Kush, Yato, they've seen Best Player, Hoon, and all of them play before. But even for me in the qualifiers, I wasn't even able to catch a match of a Millonario at all. So there's a big question mark to see how they play together and see what this magic is that they brought against Asian Disappointment, that they brought against the Valley, that they brought against Team Ego. So it's going to be a very exciting, especially an exciting start to this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, not just the fact that we haven't catched their match yet, but like you mentioned, they defeated some of these big name teams, and I went around, did some digging, and I actually found out that some of these teams do not want to go against Millonario, at least some of them are the top 8. Like you mentioned, the Valley and Eagle are already beaten by them. And also at the same time, taking a look at Team Eagle, they were able to take out Area 77 and Night Horde, another team that we're not witnessing here in the top 8. And so Team Eagle, underdog with favorites. I don't know how you guys want to call that one, but also looking at how they've been doing in scrims and in other tournaments, Area 77 don't look like what they usually have been so far in every single NACT, because they've been a top 4 team every single time, but this time around they don't look like themselves. So Millonario, the team to watch out for sure.
You saying you are not going to put Area 77 in your top 4 teams. Now, I want to hear you guys on who your predictions are for the top 4 teams, as well as the champion for this season. Now, we know that the Valley and BK, only one of them comes out. So I want to hear from all of you guys some predictions.
Ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first.
Ladies first. Well, I asked questions, so you better answer first. Trex, let's start with you.
Can we just play it cool, you know? I think we have to start first. We said top 4, right? So I think a good thing to do is like who wins between the Valley and BTK.
Yeah.
And that is still it's like, I think BTK is the favorite, but they've had a tough time in every early tournament for the past 3 NACTs. They start off slow. So there was this like worry in my heart of like, man, what if they just whiff? Like, what if they just whiff? There's no lower bracket. There's no big comeback story. And that's what BTK thrives off. You know, they thrive off that momentum. So I'm still going to put them in my top 4, but it is a hard call and there's some worry behind it. I think Millonario will also make it to top 4. Overskilled, Villainera, kind of a toss-up. Don't know. We'll go with Overskilled, and then I got to put Vendetta up there. It's Yato and the boys, man. I think they are the new Area 77 right there. It's Yato, it's Melon, who for me last year was the Rookie of the Year. Melon, man, coming into the gold lane, got subbed in off the bench last minute, and was just showing up in the gold lane. So I have my eyes on him heavily, but the problem is they got to go. They're up against Team Ego. Des might just show up, but yeah, those are my top 4. No champion yet. I'll let you know when we get to top 4. I'll let you know on Saturday.
That was the Valley over BTK for you?
No, I'm putting BTK up. BTK up.
Okay, yeah.
Casters.
There's the worry. There's the worry, man. Sometimes they don't eat their Wheaties in the morning, and
Yeah.
I think that was a really good breakdown, honestly. I mean, yeah, BTK and the Valley, it's definitely always a toss-up. Every time you vote, I mean, you saw the last time these members fought off against each other, man. There was a lot of emotions from everybody. It's always been split down the middle. But yeah, I'm going to give the favor to BTK just because I think it's interesting to see Mobazane and Best Player on the same team. It's a dynamic that we haven't seen before when it comes to all these familiar faces. So I would give it to BTK and out of that matchup. Millonario, I don't know, man. I like the story of the Dark Horse. It's kind of growing on me. So I'm gonna go with Millonario up against Area 77 to give him the benefit of the doubt. For Overskilled and Villain Era, I would have to go Overskilled. I feel like just a couple more familiar names that I've seen compete compared to Villain Era. So I just give them more seniority to kind of take that one over. And then Team Ego and Vendetta. Yeah, I'm right there with you. The Vendetta, the stack up, the roster, it's definitely looking pretty competitive. I mean, you have T over there, Yato, Kush, just them three. And then not to mention somebody we haven't talked about. There's a sub. Slay's on the team. And that's yeah, previous contender in MSC last year for MWI.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too, is especially having somebody there that in your subs that has so much experience between with all of these teams. Man, there's just it's so interesting to see with all these. I'm trying to. We're just gonna go dive into it. From Vendetta and Team Ego, man, I've been talking up Team Ego for a bit here, but I do feel like they still have that learning that needs to be done, that grinding here, that to get them to that point where they're at that top 3 contention. Vendetta is just too full of those OG names that we've known and love here, but just haven't quite captured that top spot. And I think this might be a lower bracket to remember between BTK and Vendetta. The Valley, unfortunately, losing to Millonario, and possibly some people are saying that they lost a step. Perhaps we talked about it before. They've got that boot camp, same as BTK here, so they're going to be grinding here. It's unfortunate that they're meeting in the first round, but they it's going to be something to remember. And man, that lower bracket it makes me so sad. I would have split a lot of these teams up just because it's so much history there in that lower bracket. And speaking of history, Area 77 up at the top there against that new blood, the one that everybody's kind of talking about. Like I said, I wasn't able to watch any of their matches, but from what I heard, it was quite impressive. And you have to beat some of these names. Everybody knows now that there isn't really going to be any second chances here. There's not going to be any lower bracket, so you're going to see all these guys coming in to right from the start, just full pedal to the metal here. Overskilled over Villain Arc, so it's going to be for me Overskilled, Millonario, Bloodthirsty Kings, and Vendetta. I'm looking for somebody here in these to take it to BTK. I mean, we've talked about everybody wants to be at that top position. They've seen BTK in the lights. Everybody kind of has their critiques. They say, oh, when they don't make it out of or they get grouped right at the beginning of some of these international stage. I'm looking for people to put their money where their mouth is and take it to BTK in this tournament. This is the prime opportunity here. They've switched out to the jungler for right now. As far as we know, it's going to be best player, and it's also a time for best player to really show what he needs to kind of shake off some of the cobwebs of some of past experiences or past flounders, we'll call it, and look for him to finally be able to take those reins and put BTK back up on the map.
Putting BTK back up on the map, that's what this season of NACT has in store for us, doesn't it? Let's take it to EWC. So if you ask me, everybody wants to see them. At least speaking from an international viewer point of view, every single person wants to see best player and Mobazane be in the same team and represent NA in the MSC. So if you're asking me who's going to come out on top against the Valley and BTK, even after they're going through boot camps, one of them's going to have a nice vacation. One of them's going to be really grinding it out. And if you look at the other matches, Overskilled and Villain Era, I think that one is up for a toss if you ask me. Villain Era still looks strong. Overskill look good as well. They've been doing well in scrims is what I've at least I've done some digging around. Yes, guys, I did some sort of digging to not come in blind to this. But of course, I think it might go over to Overskilled just because I feel like Villain Era are still finding their footing in a way. But Millenario versus Area 77, even though Area 77 have been there for quite some time, I don't think they're gonna make it to the top 4. Millenario feel like they just got a slight bit of an edge because they got a new competitiveness. They're new kids on the block. They got that hot blood to show everyone that they can achieve something as well. And of course, BTK versus the Valley. You can't count out BTK, especially what happened in the last NACT Grand Finals. I think Stephweezy said it best. Everyone had a lot of emotions coming back from 3-0 to a 4-3. So you can never count them out. And Vendetta versus Ego. If you ask me, I think that's probably going to be the match of the weekend. Vendetta versus Ego more than BTK versus the Valley. And although I want to say Ego might be better, but Vendetta have the veterans. But
Man,
you
don't be
know,
scared,
well,
man. Dude,
No,
just say it, man. Don't be scared, bro. Just say it.
I'm not scared. I'm just like going by the fact that usually when a team loses, you know, every single time while they're on stream or while they're having their scrims, or you know, while in any possible way, shape, or form, that team usually comes out on top when there's the actual competition going on. So I don't see why Team Ego cannot beat Vendetta, right? So I'm going Team Ego. I know you, the three of you said Vendetta, and I'm saying Team Ego. And maybe it would be nice to see Team Ego go against BTK. That would be a nice drama that you want to see in NACT for sure.
Look at Kronos coming into the region and already stirring up drama. I think one thing you said, I do absolutely agree. For the international fans, they are dying to see BTK coming into MSC on the world stage with both best player and Mobaze. And that might be one of the prime BTK arcs, with both junglers having both advantages. But whether or not they make it that far is still to be seen next weekend. Especially, like you guys mentioned, this is a single elimination bracket. So you only have one chance. And if you're able to pull out that specialty in that 3 games, that is going to be make or break. So for all these teams, a lot of the pressure. But once you make it through the first rounds, I feel like it's going to be a lot smoother, because the next round is going to be best of 5. So you have more chances. But if you're able to get over day 1, then you have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, day 1 is rough, man. That's Friday's. It's a sad day. It's not Good Friday. It's definitely, you know, and it's best of 3s. That's what keeps going around. It's like, and it's best of 3s. I think really anything could happen here. I think it's tough to make calls.
Yeah, and it's all happening in one weekend, which makes the pressure even more high for all of these teams, especially those boot camping. So we'll have to see how that kind of plays out.
Vacation time
for them. Yeah, definitely.
The next 2 days.
I love to see how this kind of plays out. But if they are boot camping, it definitely makes a difference because everybody's on the same Wi-Fi, so it could give them that slight advantage. And sometimes that's what makes the difference to go that extra mile and be able to take that win. So yeah, a lot on the line, one weekend. Let's get to it. Let's see the top 8 go down to the top 2.
Yeah, the big interesting thing for me is especially with these two teams, that are boot camping, facing each other in the first round, it adds all the more onto another team if they can manage to get that victory over them. I mean, just we've talked about it before, being around each other, playing these games, and being able to see reactions, being able to talk to each other, to understand, it makes a difference. But to be able to show that despite the ping that you might have, and you might still be able to get a victory over one of these teams, it just means that no matter what we send to EWC, it's going to be the absolute pinnacle of North America, and it's going to be something that's worth remembering.
Hey, you know what? I was gonna say something on the lines of what Private said, but I said why not? Let's just add some spice to what's going on anyway. Because let's not. I mean, if you want to see the pinnacle of North America come out and represent NA in the EWC, but I was just taking a look at the lineups once more, and we have, of course, the big match of the weekend that everybody wants to take a look at. That's the Valley versus BTK. And if you take a look at the managers and the coaches, you can see Sir Rose is not at the not rocking with GDICO and Midnight anymore. He's just jumped ship, gone into BTK right now. So that's gonna be Midnight versus Sir Rose. So that's definitely adding some extra spice. And we got GDICO as an analyst. And last I checked with him, he's our good friend, of course. Last I checked with him, he said that he's going to Chicago for a boot camp. So definitely one of them going for a vacation and one I'm not really sure. So BTK versus the Valley. Let's be honest, guys. I think every one of us here, and for those watching as well, probably know or at least might want one of them to represent NA in the MSC. You get the eyes, you get the attraction, you get the viewership, you get everything out of that. You get the drama that you need. But I'm just saying, while we're focusing on that, let's not forget Millonario have been, you know, grinding in the dark so they can shine bright in the light. So I just feel like that lower bracket looks really tough, but the top half as well, we can't count them out.
Yeah, I think I've always been
Pin
on
time
board.
Kronos mentioned drama this 30 minutes. So let's wrap it up here, guys. You guys mentioned there's a lot of excitement coming in this weekend and a lot to look forward to for all the viewers and for the teams, a lot to prepare for. And just a reminder, guys, this is not a we did not design the bracket, so all of this was fair in games. They drew themselves, and it is the way it is. So best of luck to all the teams coming in this weekend, and for all the viewers, make sure to tune in to the tournament this weekend, happening on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we'll see you then.